Beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brendan Chaw. Today I would like to talk to you about what I like to call the sixth love language, surprise. So let's jump straight into a story about surprises. Okay, so rewind around 3 years when I started this whole spiritual journey. Up until the point where I was 24 years old, I had never, ever left Sydney. And so when I went through this spiritual awakening, as you will, I flew over to the other side of the continent and I lived in Perth for a solid 6 months. And then I came back to Sydney for 1 month, and then I went to Canada for a solid 4 months. So up until that moment, I've never been out of Sydney. So just knowing me, I'm a grandma's boy. I'm a mama's boy. And so I've always been attached to my grandma, and I've always loved my grandma. She's always done everything for me. Fold my sheets, wash my dishes, clean my clothes. And so it's really hard for me to disentangle from her and start to live independently. So I was gone for a total of 10 months in that 1 year. So that was a huge jump for me and my grandma. It was very hard for both me and my grandma. So when I was in Canada, so this is the end of the 4 months, I was planning to go surprise my family for a wedding, for my uncle's wedding in Cambodia. That's another story for another day. But when my grandma called me, she's like, hey, when you're in Cambodia, you might as well, you're already halfway across the world, you might as well come to Australia. And I was like, oh, sorry, grandma, I gotta work on my stuff. I gotta work on my goals and stuff. I can't come back to Australia yet. I need to work on stuff. Little did she know, I had already planned to fly to Australia, to Sydney. I already bought a ticket. So I already knew that I was gonna surprise her. But she had no clue. She had no idea. And so I was just like playing along. I was like, Grandma, I'm very, very sorry, but it's gonna be at least another year until I see you. And obviously this is all in Chinese. And she's like, okay, that's okay. I understand that you have to work on this stuff, but I really miss you. And I'm like, yeah, I miss you too, but I'll see you in a year. I'll see you in a year. Fast forward 1 week later, I land in Sydney and I'm walking down my street, down to my house, and I haven't seen this house in like 5 months. And so I get to the fence, and I knew for a fact that I did not want to knock on the door. I wanted to surprise her. I wanted to like just walk up to her. So I jumped the fence, chucked my baggage over. I had a GoPro on my head. I was like crawling down to like some Mission Impossible shit. And like I hear her cooking in the background inside the kitchen outdoors, and the door's just about to open. I'm like, fuck. So I run into the toilet and I'm like hiding there. My heart's like beating out my chest. I'm like, okay, I can't let her see me. I can't let her see me. And so I see her in the crack of the door. I see her walk into the actual house. And so that's when I like creep up behind her. I open up the sliding door, and that's when she hears her. She turns around, and then I'm like, Ma, which means, Grandma, what are you cooking for tonight? And she's just like, oh! And she just hugs me so tight. I've never had the tightest hug from her in my life. And she just clings onto me for a solid minute. And I'm just like cracking up, like, I got you. Did you see your face? Did you see your face? And I just pick her up and just like laugh. And I'm just like so happy. And in that moment, I swear to God, I've never had so much joy fill up in my life, just in my heart. I just felt so happy and so uplifted. And she did not say a single thing for a solid like 30 seconds. And it wasn't until later when she was like full rubbing my face, like making me, like she was just like so full of joy. And at that moment, I realized that surprises are so beautiful. Surprises can change a person's life. And so a lot of people may say, yep, I could have scared her to death, which thank God, thank you so much, that didn't happen. But that story just highlights to me how powerful surprises are, and that they actually are the sixth love language. And so I know for myself, whenever someone surprises me with something, anything, it could be like with their presence, like for example, what I did for my grandma, or it could be like just some ice cream, or it could be like anything, literally anything. A surprise could be just a pleasant surprise, obviously. It really makes you feel loved. It really makes you fill your heart up with joy. And so I encourage you guys all to surprise your loved ones more often, whether that be just like a little note in someone's say you could put a little note in someone's laptop when it's closed, so when they open up the laptop they see like a little note that will make the day. Pretty much that's what me and my girlfriend do every day. Actually, every time she comes over, she always hides notes everywhere. I know she's doing it, but I don't know where she's doing it. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the surprise. So we try to do this with each other every single time, whenever we can. And yeah, that's something so powerful about surprises. That's something that Gary Chapman didn't talk about in his book, but I truly believe that surprises have such a powerful, overwhelming feeling of joy when you do it properly. And so surprises are things where it's so easy for us to like ruin our own surprises, because we want them to see the surprise so well, and then if they don't go in the right direction, if they don't walk in the direction of the surprise, we tend to like want to just ruin it. I know I always do that, but it's all about patience. It's all about letting go of the outcome, but putting in the effort to make the surprise. And because I'm guilty of that sometimes. For example, I put a note in the fridge, and then like my girlfriend's not going to the fridge, like she's not getting anything from the fridge. I'm like, oh. So then throughout the day I'm just like, hey babe, do you feel like some ice cream? Are you hungry or anything? Just to try to probe her so she can go to the fridge. And then she's like, did you put a note in there? And that ruins the surprise. Don't do that. Just let the process work out by itself, and then let them discover the surprise for themselves, if it's something like that, if it's something like you're hiding the surprise. Okay, so definitely that's one thing to keep in mind. So thank you guys if you came to the end of this video. I bless you with all my heart, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Thank you.